the name of the Lord that we had an opportunity just to share an inspiration to us. And today we are back and we are really grateful that God has given us actually another opportunity to be here. We never take it for granted. First, I want to take this opportunity and thank you for taking your time to watch this video. And I believe that this video, by the end, make sure by the way you watch up to the end, because there's a lot of insight that comes along with. So sometimes you might watch ufike katikati wachie kwa njia, you miss out on great things. Ensure that you are watching to the very end so that you are able to grasp the full insight, the full inspiration, and even the lessons that you can be able to pick for yourself. They are going to be very helpful. So I want to take this opportunity and invite you once again. Please, when you join, help us know who you are and where you are joining us from. We will be glad to interact. And as I've said, feel free. This is an interactive session. By the way, hii si ile church unakaa pastor anachapa gospel na umenyamaza. No. At this point, you are free to ask us question. So you just drop your question in the comment section. We'll be able to read it, and as we read it, we can be able to interact and share. So today we are just doing a continuation from where we began yesterday, and maybe before we do that, we'll have to do some recap on what we shared yesterday for the sake of those who did not log in, or maybe who have not had an opportunity to go through the yesterday's video. We were talking about dating in the Christian perspective. Yeah, dating in the Christian perspective, because these are real life issues, and you find that some of these issues are rarely talked about in our churches. And that is why you find that most young people are lacking a place to find some of the answers to some of the questions they have, because in church tukienda tu ni hallelujah, amina na kuchapa Holy Ghost.
So we uchungu wa Roho Mtakatifu.
Hapana, Roho Mtakatifu ni mchungu. No. So but here hii church yetu, it's an interactive one. So just feel free to share with us. Feel free to ask us any question. We are going to answer as the Spirit of God will enable us. So maybe take us through yesterday's discussion.
Thank you very much, viewers. I also want to take this opportunity to say hi and to extend my invitation to all of you to this channel, so that we can be able to share that which God has deposited in our hearts together with you, loved ones. It's my prayer that what we are going to discuss here and what we are going to share here, it is going to be of great benefit to somebody who is watching us tonight. So yesterday, we were asking ourselves a question. Christian youths, are they allowed also to date, or it is something that is sinful?
And what was the answer?
And the answer is, many of us usually jump into things and rush into blaming the devil, where even the devil is not involved. These are godly things that we are discussing with a view of helping somebody enter into a marriage institution as a Christian. And so we said yesterday that simply dating is going for a date, going out for a date with a person of an opposite sex.
No, you are not clear. Now when you say dating is going out for a date, you're just using the same word to describe this. We are not understanding.
Let me put it this way.
Yes.
Dating is something that is pre-arranged. You agree with somebody that on a particular date, can we meet somewhere and just have some good time together share, interact, relate, and
Socialize.
socialize, and things like that. And you agree on a date on which you're going to meet and be able to discuss or do what you have intended to do. And if it happens, it can be a date with somebody of the same sex, or you can do it with somebody of an opposite sex, as long as you have agreed, you have organized on a particular time. We will be out, we'll go out and meet somewhere and discuss and share. So you have put up a date. So when you go and honor that arrangement, then what you have done is you are now dating. So that is where we have to begin from. As a Christian youth who have attained a particular stage, and you are asking yourself, is it the right time for me now also to begin preparing to enter into a marriage institution? So you have to begin by dating. So dating is the initial step before you enter into marriage. Have I put it the correct way?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
so
right.
that is the dating. And so we looked at some of the benefits of dating. Dating means you can go out as a group, or you can go out as an individual going to meet another individual of the opposite sex. So, what are the advantages or the benefits of this first or initial step that we are calling dating? We said number one benefit of doing that, when you are aware, sorry, one of the benefits is number one, dating can help you develop your personality. You and me will agree, if you have never dated, or if you are now dating, you'll agree with me that the first time you sat close to a person of the opposite sex, you were fidgeting, you became uncomfortable.
Okay,
Yeah?
the issue is not that, the issue is that this is a person you are interacting maybe for the very first time. You don't know the person. You don't know how much Ugadi this person eats. And you also don't know when he's angry, when he's happy. I think that kind of those kind of unexpected, which term can I use, are the ones that make you feel a bit nervous. Yeah, because you don't know this person. You cannot be free with this person. So it's normal. It's normal.
Yeah, it is normal. That is what we are saying. It is
Yes.
normal to feel that way initially, but we are saying that as you continue dating, your personality is going to develop
For
to
sure.
an extent that you now learn how to handle situations and how to grow and mature in your relationships with others. Yeah? The more you interact, you date, then the more you develop your personality, and the more you grow, and you're able to handle the different personalities also. You are able to handle when you date, you meet like that, and somebody tries to reach out to you, you are able to handle that, that extent, or that show of interest that somebody is trying to put across to you. So you grow. Dating helps you in
Sima,
that
it
respect.
helps you understand the other party,
Yes,
in short.
you understand people as you relate. Number two, we said dating helps you to learn to get along socially. Being a girl, just like I said, or being a guy, just like I said, the first time you meet a girl, the first time you meet a boy, and you are seated like this, you really don't know how to behave, and you feel uncomfortable. But the more you date, a point is reached whereby you become comfortable and at ease with people that you are relating with. It is an art actually you learn. You quickly become comfortable and at ease with the people around you. Yeah. And number three, we said dating can also help you in selection or choosing
You
a
met.
mate.
Of course.
That is powerful, isn't it? As you relate with the
Should.
people, your personality has grown. You're emotionally now comfortable. You can be able to handle people of the opposite sex. That one helps you to a great extent to choose somebody uh, whom you feel can be your mate, and somebody whom you feel in future, God willing, you can
Be your
live
spouse.
with. Yeah, can be your spouse. So those are some of the benefits that we discussed yesterday. We were just doing a recap so that we can be able to be on the same page even today. But our main um, theme today is discussing the dangers of dating. The
Dangers
question
of
is,
dating.
as you relate with the people like that, as you go out with people of the opposite sex like that, are there any dangers? Yeah, it is important. During dating is not necessarily sinful, yeah, but many young people fall into sin as a result of dating. That is why we are warning you in advance. We are not discouraging you against dating, but we are saying this dating is not sinful in itself, but many young people have fallen into sin in the course of dating. Yeah. The danger in dating is that
It's
you
a
will,
trap.
yeah, you will do something that will seriously damage your chances for your future happiness. I have said the danger of dating can lead you into doing something that can end up removing or stealing the future happiness in your life. I think that is a point that is taken.
It's a point we'll need some clarification so that we understand
We-
what you mean by that.
We are
It's
saying
it's
that,
a very strong point.
yeah, we are saying that as you go out like that, as a youth, you know, sometimes you tend to be careless and say, after all, I still have many years ahead of me. And therefore, what I'm doing now is just enjoying myself and hanging out with the people and just trying out things. It doesn't maybe necessarily affect my choices and what I will do in the future because I'm still very young and there are many years. The future is bright for me. So let me enjoy myself. Let me do A, B, C, D now before that time comes. And I'm saying there are certain things, therefore, you can easily do. Those things, we are going to mention them down
Yes,
there.
I would like to know them.
Yes, which can rob you of the happiness that
Future.
you are supposed to enjoy
In
in
the
future.
So that means we need to be very careful because, as we've said, this is an initial stage that is going to lead you to kind of a permanent relationship because actually marriage has no reverse.
There's no
That
reverse.
is why every time you are being joined at the altar, you always say, until death does us part.
Apart.
So that means it is actually a permanent relationship and it has no reverse. So everything we are doing in the initial stage matters a lot because we don't want to ruin that permanent relationship that we anticipate. And of course, marriage is a good thing that God created and every person yearns to have it.
Yes.
Yes.
And so we are saying the patterns of your dating. Yeah, as you go into dating, the patterns of your dating and the decisions you make during this particular time have a very serious bearing on your life and the quality of life in the future.
Which is very true. What I've learned with this life, it is always very important for one to think deep before making any decision, especially now when it comes to decision like marriage. It's not an easy decision that one can just make like that, because as I've said, this is a permanent relationship, a permanent relationship that doesn't have a reverse. Because believe me, once your first marriage is spoiled, even if God gives you a second chance, it's never as sweet as the initial one. So it is always important that we work out, just as the Bible tells us that we work out our salvation with fear and trembling. I think we also need to work out our relation and even our decisions with a lot of caution, so that we don't ruin our future.
Amen. And maybe before we forget, before we begin looking at the dangers now, it is important for us to remind our viewers our text, our text, our basis is the scripture, is the Bible. We are not just coming to you with the eloquency of speech and fabricated stories. Bible in the book of Proverbs, chapter number 3, verse 5 and 6. Yesterday we read, and it says, trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths.
For sure.
Yeah, let us not lean on our own understanding. Even as you enter into dating stage, please seek the ways of God. Acknowledge him in this dating process, so that he will be able to direct your ways, your paths.
It's beautiful.
Your moves, as you make your moves into dating, God is able to direct you.
For sure.
Praise God.
Amen.
Yeah, and remember again also, dating, when you are dating with people of the opposite sex, you have not committed anything to anybody.
That's what we said. In dating, there's no commitment.
There is no commitment.
So don't commit yourself at this point.
Just enjoy yourself. Relax in company of people. Learn their characters, their mannerisms, and their temperaments, and how people talk,
So let me ask you a question. And please seriously help me understand. At this point, is it okay for one to date several people? Because you've said you've not given a commitment.
Yes, you see, during dating, you are in company. I remember I told you that there are different types of dating. You can date as a group.
I see Davis Muhevi. This is a great friend of mine, and
Sure.
he likes that. Thank you. Japheth Wesonga, very good discussion. More young people will benefit from this. We bless the name of the Lord for that. Thank you, at least for engaging us.
My friend. Thank you very much. So we are saying that we have different types of dating. You can date. Can have group dating. Several friends of yours you are meeting. You are going to hang out together. That is group. But we also have individual dating. You as an individual, you are meeting and having time with another person of the opposite sex, the two of you.
In which you have seen some interests.
Of course,
but no commitment.
Yeah, no commitment.
There are some interests, but no commitment.
Yeah, there must be some attraction. Yeah,
but no commitment.
Which you really don't understand, but you just want to be close. Yeah, to be close to that person.
To somebody.
Yeah.
Because why I asked that, because I've had quite a number of people, like young people, they're discussing, so and so is dating so and so.
Yeah, I've had people say that.
Yeah, so and so is dating so and so. So in this case, is it still dating, or maybe you have progressed to another level?
In most times,
yes,
they say so without understanding, knowing what they are saying. Remember, we have dating as the first step. Then after dating, we now enter into the second stage, which is known as courtship.
Hapo ni kama kuna commitment kidogo.
We will come to that. So
yes,
these are the dangers of dating. Some of them, we are not saying that this is conclusive. Number one danger, which we need to be aware, is that dating can lead to a broken heart.
For sure.
Can break hearts.
In the event that
Remember, during dating, there is no commitment of any sort. You are just hanging out with someone who you are getting attracted to. But in the course of
the
interacting and relating and talking to one another with time, there is something that begins to develop between the two of you. There is an attraction, and this something grows into some form of a bond. And this bond now grows into what is known as a romantic relationship. A romantic relationship, it does not necessarily mean that the two of you love one another. It is a flirting kind of a relationship. Is where flirting means acting like you love somebody.
acting like
The two of you now begin to act like you love one another. Remember, not the word acting. You begin to dramatize,
okay,
to act as though you love one another.
but you don't.
Yet, in actual sense, you have no commitment to that person.
But it can happen that maybe one party between the two of you, one party is meaning it. You're saying acting, but maybe one party, the two between the two of you is
One of
meaning
the
it,
two
but the other one,
does
ye
not
bado
know,
anapima hewa.
does not know that you mean it,
You mean it,
and is
and
not.
and even himself, see it, he even doesn't know, but himself doesn't mean it.
Why I'm saying that you really are not committed and there is no, you're acting like you love one another. Mtu akikuuliza, so and so is you, and so is your lover these days. And then you will be very fast to say, that is just my friend. You see, he's my friend. We are just hanging, we are hooking together. And it doesn't mean that there is anything.
No, sometimes they give such feedback because hawataki watu wajue. You don't want people to know that there is anything going on between you and the other person. So you don't want people to know exactly. Maybe it's because there is no that commitment. There's no that commitment.
And in fact, the two of you know that should something happen, you are willing to part ways.
You're willing, though.
Because you have not really committed to one another. And you know it. Now, should something happen between the two of you and then either one of you or both of you now walk away from one another, you see, you will go. You see, you will walk away.
What is David saying? Don't assume that he's the one who pimas the hair. Okay, yes.
Yeah, we are saying that this guy is saying a very good discussion.
Yeah.
David Mohevi.
Don't assume that he's the one who pimas the hair. Okay.
So,
yes.
Because casually you think this relationship is not very firm. So you feel like you can just walk away on one another and look for another
and someone
else because you feel your world is so wide that you can fish anywhere in this sea. So you walk away, something small, and then you break away.
For sure.
Hoping that separation is going to be harmless. Little do you know that there was a bond between the two hearts, so that as you separate, as you part ways, you see, there is that separation is like hearts are peeling away from one another. So after some time, it dawns on you now. You begin to feel, there is a feeling of rejection that comes. Kwani this guy has walked away from me. Si aende. Hmm?
And I'm sure.
I will show her. I'll show him or I will show her
And
that
I'm sure
I still have people out here
I still have
who
value.
are chasing after me. I am a chick. I'll prove to him that I am a chick in this sea. So that is a feeling of rejection, but you don't understand. So what happens? This guy has walked away from me.
Yes.
Let me show him now.
Let
So
me show her.
what happens is you
Get a feeling.
become desperate for someone to approach you so that you hook up very fast with a view. The reason is you want to show this other person that you are not dying for him or for her
Which is
after all.
a wrong goal and a wrong purpose in
Yes.
dating.
So do you know what happens now? The keenness you had in the beginning of letting somebody to come closer you or closer to your heart, that keenness now disappears. So that it becomes very easy for this person, Dick and Harry, to jump into your life. The reason is you want somebody who will camouflage you, somebody who will give you an umbrella, so that the other person who quit
Who
from
left
you
you?
can be able to know that you are not that cheap. And you know what happens? This other person has walked into your life again also, no commitment, and the same thing.
So we
is
can have
likely.
a series of heartbreaks.
Yes, a
The
series of
possibility of a
heartbreaks
series of heartbreaks.
in the
So
process of dating.
dating. So I think it is important for our young people to understand during that initial stage, don't commit yourself to someone and expect that such can happen. Expect that you can break away, and when you break away, kindly take time. Don't try to revenge. I want to revenge. Don't try to show. To easy. Somebody used to call them side shows. And you want to show that, hey, yeah. Don't do that, because it might mess you up. You might be messed up completely.
So
That's
these
a serious
heartbreaks
danger. Yeah.
usually leave scars and
Of course,
wounds,
any heartbreak.
unseen ones. You see, you are putting on a brave face after the first heartbreak, and you thought it was harmless, but it is eating you from inside to an extent that you now make a very hasty decision again to enter into another relationship.
You're thinking that maybe you think that this one is going to help you recover
Yes.
from your ail. Actually, that is a disease. That's an ailment. So you think, if I hook up with someone, I'm likely to recover fast.
Yeah.
But you are likely to be hurt more.
Especially if there is a second heartbreak, it becomes worse.
And chances are, I think from what I'm understanding, that dating, chances of heartbreak are high. It's like in 50-50. So you just have to be careful
And that is why we're saying, don't lean
on your own understanding. Trust in the Lord.
Trust in the Lord.
Yes.
And He will direct your
Paths
and
That's
your
right.
moves.
Bible says that the steps of a righteous man are ordered by God.
Yeah.
The decision that a righteous man takes, it's God who orders them, and that is the best thing that you can do.
Thank you very much. So can we move to the
Next.
second possible danger of dating?
Yeah.
Yes, number 2, dating often leads to physical intimacy.
Physical intimacy. What do you mean by that?
The other one can lead to romantic relationship. That is an emotional intimacy. But dating also can result into physical intimacy.
Physical to your mwili. Ya juju. Ya juju. See, are you talking down? What do you mean?
What I mean here is,
yes,
after a romantic relationship, with the culture of the sexual culture of youths in this generation, they are running and they are up and down into this act of sex. You know, after an emotional relationship and attachment, remember you are members of the opposite sex. So what happens? Continuous dating, you can easily get tempted to fall into this trap of beginning to play sex. That is what I mean by physical intimacy. You get involved in sexually in sex. Yeah? And any sexual relationship, this one should be very important for somebody. Any sexual relationship usually destroys a relationship, especially when there is no commitment. Remember,
There's no
during this
commitment.
time, there is no commitment to one another. And then you get involved into sexual acts. I can assure you,
Destroy that
most
relationship.
of those relationships which end up that way, without a commitment, that relationship will be destroyed. Yeah?
Yeah, because there was no commitment, and you've gone an extra mile of a deeper engagement. Actually, that's a kind of a covenant. Yenye haina, you are entering into can't agree anymore. Yes, you are entering into a kind of a covenant, but you do have commitment to this.
Because
You know,
every
covenant you
covenant
must
there is
have
a
agreed.
sacrifice.
Yes, and you must have agreed.
To seal that covenant, there must be a sacrifice.
So that,
but in this case, there is no commitment to it.
that is, can we call that lust?
That is lust, actually. So that now it is important to understand romantic relationship, if when it breaks, it is very painful. Now I want you to look at to see what happens now further. There is a breakage in romantic relationship which results in pain, but now it goes further. If you engage into sex, that is now another physical engagement and relationship. So when you break this one is even 10 times painful.
Painful, true.
Is that true?
Very, very true.
Very true.
And I think most of the girls or the ladies I've interacted with, you find that, okay, at the moment you might find we are having very single mom girls, as in ni watoto, but ni watoto, wana watoto. Like what happened during the COVID break, you realize that even in our country we are having huge statistics of young girls, primary school going girls, having been made pregnant. So I think hata watoto ukiwaongelesha ama when you could hear some of them talk, you could see that pain,
Yes,
that pain, you see?
You know, when you...
And that regret, you know, and you know it's something you regret, but unfortunately you can't reverse it.
You know,
once it has happened, and you are done.
When you engage the two of you into this physical act, remember we have said it is a form of a covenant, and remember there was no commitment. So what is going to happen is physical relationship, usually you have given away part of yourself to that person. Part of you has been given to that person,
yet you're not
which
in agreement.
you cannot be able to get back.
That's so bad.
That section of you which has been surrendered to that part, you cannot get it back. That is why we are saying that now physical relationship during dating,
Physical intimacy.
intimacy
Yes.
during dating, and then it happens there is a breakup, that one is even worse.
So in short, I think what is coming out clear is that we need to be very careful during this dating stage.
Yes.
And there are some do's and there are some don'ts. So what I'm getting clear for me is that it is a don't never to get further into a sexual action.
Yes.
That's just a don't, please, because you don't know this person. You don't know this person, and no one is committed to each other, because a sexual action, it means a covenant and a commitment, a lifetime commitment. Yeah. Na pia ni vizuri tuelewe kuna mapepo huwa inaandamana na hii act, and it can haunt you in the rest of your life. When you find yourself engaging yourself in sexual acts at this point, when you have not committed to each other in form of marriage, you are like you've said, a part of you imeenda huko na ujaelewa background ya huko, ujaelewa miungu ya huko, ujaelewa, you see. So kuna some things you might start fighting, some things in your life because of that covenant that you engaged yourself at one point. So I think to me at this point, it is as a big a don't or a no in capital letters. At the point of dating, avoid the physical intimacy. Physical intimacy.
And that is when the Bible actually says fornication is not acceptable in the eyes of God.
Of course.
The reason we have explained, part of you has been given out, sold out to that person, yet there was no commitment. Then if you break up, the pain that you'll experience thereafter is worse than when you only broke up at the initial stage of romantic relationship.
Romantic. Yeah. And leave alone that, back even just to our own health. No, this is somebody hata hujamjua, ujaelewa even health status yake, but you're just going further. You're just going further for that physical intimacy. Yes, imagine you're going further to that and you don't know this person. You don't know this person. It is so dangerous.
It is so dangerous.
So to our youths watching, please, if you are watching us and you are in that phase of your relationship, these are the things that you can avoid. Try as much as you can to avoid. Run away from it. If you're watching us and it happened that this scenario we are explaining or discussing, you went through, and unfortunately you gave in, and right now you are nursing a wound within you. What I want to tell you is that be faithful to God. We have a God who gives us a second chance.
Yes.
Yeah. He is very faithful and loving. He can still give us a second chance. Don't kill yourself. Because another thing, no, hiyo pain umezungumza sometimes inakuwa too immense to an extent. We've had cases where people have died.
Take their lives.
People die. So if people die, this thing, whatever we are talking, is so serious. Ile pain yenye inapatikana at this point, especially hiyo ya physical intimacy, alafu mumebreak, inaletanga machungi ile yenye you feel like I'm nothing, I'm valueless. And that at that point, stress, depression, somebody feels like committing suicide. So if maybe you are watching us and you're in that state, all we are saying is that we have a God who gives us a second chance. A second chance. Please, hold on your faith. He can still accept you back the way you are. Usikufe moyo. Kama alimkubali the prodigal son, unaweza jirejesha tu kama prodigal son, umwambie Mungu, hapa nimekubali, nilikosa, nisaidie, nisamehe. He will forgive you and he will restore and give you another chance. So don't give up, don't lose hope.
But for those who are now beginners,
yes,
you want to begin dating,
yes, please
remember, the best time to know that you are ready to begin dating, we said in the beginning, is when you understand the benefits and the dangers of dating. And that is what we are doing. And two, when you have scrutinized the scriptures, so that you begin dating as per the standards of the
The
Word
Bible,
of God.
the Word of God.
So that in case this dating once drives you to compromise those standards, then you should be able to let go
Yeah.
that debt.
See, the Bible tells us kama mkono wako unaweza kukusababisha ukose kufika mbinguni, kata. So kama hiyo dating, hiyo relationship inaweza kukusababisha
Uanguke kwa haya machungu.
yes, ucompromise your future happiness. Kitu nimesikia hapo hivyo kwamba you need to be very careful because inaweza kuaffect your future happiness. And future ni big.
Yeah.
Your future is big. You need to be happy. For those 40 years, 50 years you live in that marriage, you need to be happy. You don't have to live there with regret. So if there is anything that can result to you compromising your future happiness, run away from it.
Thank you very much for putting it very clearly. Yeah?
Yes.
And in a very, very sober way. So we can look at danger number 3, although we will not exhaust all the dangers, lest we discourage you to begin dating. Dating is good. We are only warning you the areas you are not
it's important that you know the expected ones.
So we are saying that dating can produce animosities amongst members of a certain age group, especially after the breakups, and you realize somebody close to you within your circles is the one now who has hooked up with that guy, with that young man.
Yeah.
What happens? Si mlipowachana mlikuwa unatupa mikono unasema si aende.
Sasa ameenda tena inakuwa shida.
Ameenda tena inakuwa shida.
Tena inarudi kukuwa shida. Si ulisema aende na nimeenda, nimejiendea.
There is a feeling now inside you which will begin to tell you, this guy stole your girlfriend. Again. Or this guy stole your boyfriend.
Again.
So this one creates animosities. And this one here, jealousy, and it is likely
that's bad.
to tear up a Christian youth group. Yeah, we are youths. You are doing the work of God in groups, obviously. You have a WhatsApp group for the church. What happens if the girl or the boy whom you have broken up with
left.
Yeah, left.
You left the group also.
We have seen people lefting the groups without any explanation.
I learned that. In fact, you've reminded me.
Or the church.
You've reminded me of a sister who shared with me her story. And I think this is what, maybe these are the things that she didn't get. I think it was in that initial stage of dating that they entered into that physical intimacy. And I don't know if I can say fortunately or unfortunately, the lady got pregnant and gave birth to a child. And the worst thing is that this guy left her and booked or hooked up with another lady in the same church. Imagine, in the same church, and this one is this one she was telling me that was a youth leader.
You can see the animosity we are talking about.
The
hatred.
Sasa skiza. This lady was telling me now, for the last 2 years, she has never stepped to church. Because she just feels, I go there and that person was a youth leader, youth pastor.
He's still a leader of the youths in that church.
Imagine, he's still a youth. And now, to make the matters worse, after breaking up with this first lady and hooking up another one, they've dated, they courted, now they're planning for a wedding. In that church. Aliniambia, how do you expect me to go to that church? And which I actually assess the situation and find that
it is difficult
to as a human being, putting myself in that shoes.
Witnessing the two of them now being wedded before you, and they are saying, I do. And you are there. And you see, when you are parting, you were saying there wasn't any attachment and
but
you have
so
no
painful.
business. You didn't know that it was going to be very harmful. And you didn't know that it was going to be very hard
so painful
to you.
Painful. So I think we just need to be cautious when we are dating, because I think the repercussions that comes, especially as a result of breakups during the dating stage, they can ruin our lives. But again, I think we've always been confusing dating with courting,
Yes.
because it's like there's some things we've been doing which are supposed to be done maybe in some other stages or phases of this relationship. But in dating, it's important that we just know kwamba ni initial stage, haina mambo mengi. Sasa
mambo
usiende
mengi.
mambo mengi,
It just
usiende mambo
helps you
mengi,
to
to know
develop,
someone.
to grow your personality and to grow your social networks, and with the time being able to assess